How's your week? Yeah.
I was sick last week. Like everyone's sick.
Yeah.
Again.
It's going all through the family right now, man. It's also like freezing too, so.
Dude, it was full on like snowing in Wisconsin.
Was it? It was snowing the other day
Yeah.
while I was at work too. It was crazy. I was laying tile the other day and I looked outside and it was snowing and I was like, "Are you serious?"
Still working in Blunkville.
That time I was in Johnson City. I took 3 days from what I usually do, trim work, to go help a buddy lay tile.
Yeah.
And it was a bad 3 days to do it because it was freezing.
Yeah.
And like your hands are in wet mortar and a wet saw to cut the tile. It was bad. So.
How's y'all's week, Drew?
Good, man. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, so I was sick the whole week. Yeah, it was tough. I'm alive.
Are you guys on your honeymoon?
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Yeah. So the honeymoon I wasn't sick. So I was It was like if we were leaving, like we were already
That's good that you were sick like
the whole time. Yeah, I think so. But it was great, man. We didn't experience the way with the sharks.
that's awesome.
What about you? What you been up to?
Not much, man. I was sick last week.
Yeah.
I didn't have COVID. I had like a cold or something.
Just sick. Yeah. If you were supposed to just like get sick, just get sick.
This time of year too.
Yeah, the weather changed the weather. It can't be great.
Yeah, other than that, just what's up, dude? How's your week? What? What's your week? Work all week.
I went to Nashville Friday. I just got back. Other than that, I didn't. Just nice to have 4 days off there.
What'd you do, Nashville?
Vanderbilt, and then we drove around a bit. We went down. We made the mistake going down Broadway on St. Patrick's Day, so there's a lot more people.
Exciting.
But
Paige, how you doing? Good to see you.
because there's like, I'm thinking about doing a work study on campus, and they actually pay $15 an hour. So I might do that. And then,
At Vanderbilt?
yeah. And then get an apartment. So I work part time, 20 hours. I'd rather get an apartment, most likely, like really close. So I can just walk to school and just walk. I just walk everywhere. Dude, I'm not doing an MDiv, I'm doing an MTS. Master of Philosophy. So it's more geared for like going into academia than it is like ministry.
You can go back here. See where the wind takes you. Yeah.
Maybe. So like, I want to go get my doctorate after, but we'll see. How the whole process works.
One step at a time.
I mean, I'll probably do come back because my mom lives here still. So, and then Knoxville 2 minutes from campus. So I was still big now. There was cool. So the Divinity School has a religion and the arts like program, and I think you're more into like digital stuff. But there was cool like paintings that so they had a whole showcase. I only took like 3 pictures, but they were all about different images of Mary. They were pretty cool. And there's also this one girl that probably paid over like 6 figures to share a painting and speak. But yeah, they're cool. But that's like the chapel. Like,
You got big news for me?
well, I'm going to Vanderbilt, but
Oh, that's huge news. When did you decide that?
when I went,
Oh yeah, you went. How was it?
It's cool. A lot of the professors were really cool too.
Nice.
That's where you like decided you were going?
So like the dean, she's leaving, but she's like a womanist ethics.
Oh, she's that lady on Balfour people, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
But then there's 4 women ethicists that like teach at the divinity school.
Mm.
each teach different stuff, but one teaches is the leader of like this nonviolent, like teaching people how to nonviolently protest,
Yeah.
change the world through nonviolent means. So she has that. Another person that's like the interim dean heads that. And they're all really cool.
That's cool, man. Man, cheers.
So
We should have bought you a cake or something today.
yeah,
Cake for Foster.
it's cool though.
That is really cool.
I didn't get to meet every faculty because they had spring break, so a lot of people were going.
Man, cheers.
Inspiring.
Nashville's cool too.
Yeah, it is. It's cool.
There's a lot of good music.
Everyone.
All right, everybody.
Music playing, like live music. Someone was there playing. So.
Let's gather around. We're lopsided. Everybody likes the left. We're leaning left.
Really are.
If we were a cruise, we would be tipping. That was lame. I'm sorry I said that. Could have thought of something cooler. I need more time to think of cool things, though. I can't, off the cuff, think of cool things. All right, everybody, welcome. March 19th. Is this spring yet?
Don't feel like it.
Don't feel like it. It's Monday? All right,
It's
well,
Monday.
we're almost there. I'm going to play you guys a song. Before we do so, I'm going to read you guys a quote. But however you're walking into this space this week, whatever's on your mind, whatever headaches, heartaches, you're welcome here. Exactly as you are. Mosaic is a safe space with all the stuff that you have. We want to follow Jesus into the future, and that includes you bringing all your stuff with you. You don't have to check it at the door. You bring it to the table, and we have a gentle Jesus who's present for us and with us. I want to read something for you guys, and then play y'all a song.
Are they coming for
They're
it?
coming for it.
Who did it? Who did it?
Those blinds go down.
Just pull my beanie down. If you guys were at dinner on Thursday, I read a quote from Steve Brown. I've been reading Steve Brown again, and there's another quote from him. He said, when Jesus came, something new happened. In fact, it was so incredibly new, people almost missed it. They didn't expect it. God laughed. Not with the laughter of cynicism, judgment, derision, or sarcasm, but with the free, infectious, joyful laughter of a sovereign ruler of the universe. We didn't expect God to laugh in that way. We expected God to be angry because we thought God had every reason to be angry. We expected God to bring down justice on the injustice of the world because we knew God to be just. We expected God to wipe out the whole mess and start over. No one would have blamed God. We expected lightning, wrath, intimidation, and a fearful display of power. And we probably could have understood that. But laughter? Nobody expected laughter. Free, gentle, accepting, and loving. That's what the incarnation of Christ is all about. And when we fail to see it that way, or when we fail to proclaim it any other way, we miss the whole point. So, one of the sure signs of God's presence in the midst of his people is the laughter of his people. Because we're covered. We've been loved the whole time and no one's keeping score. Like the only people that can laugh in this world, take ourselves less seriously, this Jesus-y way of life, So you're walking in here, however you're walking in, it's okay. The sign of God's presence amongst people is we take ourselves less seriously and we can laugh together. So I'm going to play a song for us and then I'll give it to Corey.
Times that I cried, know you were there, holding me tight. All of the days that I thought that I'd never get through, searching for answers, all along you were too. Sorry for all of the times that I ignored you. I can't imagine a moment to be without you. So
Sweet. I'm about to name the good here in just a second. So go ahead and begin to think through your past week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, month and a half. Think of all the good things that's been going on in your life and around your life. Or maybe even just something you witnessed, or you kind of got to, maybe it was a conversation, or maybe you were being a creeper in the corner and noticed some good on somebody else. I just want to throw that out there. Let me read Psalm 103 over us as we're kind of preparing for that. So this is Psalm 103. It says, "Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me, bless his holy name. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits, who forgives all your iniquity, who heals all your diseases, who redeems your life from the pit, who crowns you with steadfast love and mercy, who satisfies you with good so that your youth is renewed like the eagles. The Lord works righteousness and justice for all who are oppressed. He made known his ways to Moses, his acts to the people of Israel. The Lord is merciful and gracious, slow to anger, and abounding in steadfast love. What I love about this psalm before we really kind of get into it is that there is a very spiritual practice of commanding your soul to do things and speaking out the things that you want to see. It's not so much a name and a claim it, like I wish $1 million, God. I said it, I claimed it. But it's this idea of like, man, there's things in me that I'm going to say, even though I don't feel this way, I'm still going to say it because one day that will be my future. That will be my experience. So that's what's so powerful about the naming the good. I love what it says in here. It says that God satisfies you with good so that your youth is renewed. A very key aspect, benefit of recognizing the good in your life is I do think you get more energy. You get a little bit more pep in your step, a little bit more positivity, gives you a little bit more life. I think that's what the Psalms is saying here. He says, man, once you recognize the good, you kind of step a little bit lighter. And in a heavy world, maybe that might be the thing you need this week. So let's name the good together. What's going on?
Well, we got married.
Hey, Mazel Tov.
So that's good, I guess.
There it is.
Luckiest day of his life. Just kidding.
There we go. There it is. There we go. I heard the preacher sucked though.
Yeah. He did awesome.
That's good. That's awesome. Congratulations, guys.
Foster's going to Vanderbilt.
Man,
Cheers, cheers.
a Commodore? Commodore? Are they is that a Commodore? Are you a Commodore now? Can't go to every sports game. Baseball, they're all right.
You go to soccer games. Pro soccer, not Vanderbilt.
The Nashville FC.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, that'd be tough. Yeah, we go Mosaic soccer night.
We'll get a church there.
I know a guy. I'll make a couple calls.
And even if Foster chose Scotland, wasn't the other one you're looking at?
Mhm.
We'd still go come visit you.
Yeah,
Yeah. We're in a private jet.
yeah. Mosaic mission trip.
Just
Just gotta take one picture with some type of needy children, and then we're good. Then we can turn into a vacation the rest of the time. Yeah.
We did a mission trip this week. You can't tell by 20 people.
Mission trip in a Christian country.
Yeah, it's either a family vacation or a mission trip. That's basically when you see that many people wearing the same shirt, it's the giveaway.
Or a choir trip. Choir kids like tell us that we're matching.
What was it, a choir kids? I don't know. That's not true. I did sing in choir.
You were in choir with Desert Girl?
Yeah.
The weird,
Yeah.
not suits.
Yeah. Did we ever do choir trips? Did we go on a trip?
We went to Temple.
Oh,
Went to
oh,
Carnegie Hall with Tracy Lee.
shoot, man. Forgot about that. I gotta process that later. Have to unpack that with my wife a little bit. Didn't know that was in my subconscious. Someone else, what you got going on?
We're like settling into new offices, and I got some artwork in my office that is just really amazing, and it makes me really happy. And it's a picture of a French bulldog It's a little distinguished. He's got some gray in him, and he has googly glasses on, and it's really large, like
Yeah,
huge,
it's to the point where you're like, really, did it have to be that big? Like,
giant photo sits right behind me, my desk, so that when people come in that need, I'm like HR, so people are coming in because they're normally upset, and so I'm like. But I named him Thomas because he's very serious. He's a really serious guy.
with googly glasses on.
He can't help what kind of glasses he needs. But it just makes me really happy, and I love him so much, and so it's just a little thing. I would purchase him for our home, but he's very expensive, so he just sits in my office now.
Yeah. Let me just take a second here and talk about how I'm very supportive and loving of my wife, but also am insanely jealous and mad and borderline, dare I say, pissed of the life that she lives and the work that she's got. The nicest corner office with exposed brick, with natural light. I walked in there and immediately felt more sexy. Like immediately. I was like,
Don't forget the cozy swivel chair.
there's a cozy swivel chair, people. Not just a regular chair, it swivels. All right. It's comfy. You look out the window and you see the downtown JC skyline, not the crappy skyline, the nice skyline. All right. She's within walking distance to great food, great coffee, great experiences. Yeah, you put up with some homeless people pooping on the side of the street. It doesn't matter. And here she is chilling. It's incredible. She's a mom of 3. She deserves it. She gets it. I support her. I support her. Salt of the earth. Oh, it's great. It's incredible. I love it. I'm so happy for her. It really is dope. It is cool. And I just want to go hang out in her office now. So when I'm in my classroom that smells funky and dealing, it's got I have one window that looks to a soybean field, and I'm listening to 8th grade girls fight about boys, which I got pulled into this last week, which was my first time in 3 years getting pulled into 8th grade girl drama. I'll remember that my wife is chilling in a nice corner office on the 4th floor of the King Center building with a scenic look, a swivel chair, and Thomas Googly Eye painting behind her desk. So I love you. Oh, it's good. Somebody else. Oh, bro. You should have led with that one, bro. And don't even try to justify it. Don't try to justify that it was luck. It was the hand of God on you, bro. Oh, my. Where was this at? Oh, my goodness. Let's go. Oh, man. What the players just happened? You were in the zone, weren't you? Did you have the best game of your life after that? Or was it like, did it just drop off?
It was good. From there on, it went really well. Up until that point, it wasn't that great.
Man.
Kind of started.
Man, look at God, guys. Look at God.
He plays well every time he gets to that course.
Oh, man. So that's the home court. All right. So never play with Andy at Crockett Ridge.
He'll play with me.
Yeah.
Somebody
Yeah.
else.
There we go. Yeah, let's go. We'll go play a tandem 2v2. Let's actually heck. Let's go hustle some people this week. Let's go make some money. Dang, that's awesome. All right, low key jealous and upset at you for that as well. It's gonna add that to the list.
This past month, just at school and just in my life, has been really good. Specifically, this past week, it was just full of laughter and hanging out with friends and family. And I'm just really thankful for it.
It's good.
Because I'm about to graduate, so I might not see them as often.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like there's like no bad days, or like even when bad things happen, it's kind of just outweighed by all the good things.
It's good.
And it's been great.
It's good. Someone else.
Somewhere over the Atlantic last week, Ellie got food poisoning. Or
Awesome.
Something horrible.
On the plane?
Yes. So I spent 3 hours in a little bathroom on the plane with her throwing up nonstop, and that was right when our trip started. But thankfully, until we landed, she was okay. And the next day, we had a great week. So
Hey.
we were like, we got there and they lost her baggage. So we had to drive. I dropped them off, and then I had to drive all the way back to the airport, covered in vomit, and going in these little stores trying to find enough food for us to survive the week with the stomach bug, because I thought we would be doing that. And turned out it was great. So it turned out good. But
Yeah. Those pictures look like a movie, bro. Oh my gosh.
That was such
it's actually from the movie.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's right. Oh, it actually just need a gun in your hand.
Well, they don't have the house was, yeah. I wish we could have found the house. Nothing left of it now.
I know.
Yeah, her fear was always just like she has this anxiety of throwing up.
Yeah.
So the entire time I was like, you're not gonna throw up. Just
It's all-
nerves.
it's all in
And
your
the
head.
bathroom, when I'm standing in it, I'm like, well, you threw up. You face that fear.
She's like, thanks, Dad.
I had just taken a melatonin.
Oh,
Like,
is
Oh,
he? Yeah.
no,
so
super
like,
useless.
yeah, and I'm like, so groggy, I'm like, where did they go? And I'm like knocking on the door, and Jeremy opens it, and he's just like, she threw up.
Just go away.
Get out of here.
But I now know how to unlock the door the way the flat is too.
Oh,
If
nice.
you need to get in the bathroom and it's locked, which you probably shouldn't because someone's in there, but we had our own private bathroom.
Man,
Yeah.
just hanging out.
Well, we thought we got it under control, and then brought her back to the seat, and then she started vomiting again, and so we just took the airline blanket,
Yeah.
held it out, and she just like
Oh,
rattled.
gosh.
I'm just holding her head right here. So we don't want to see.
Great.
Like nothing's going on here. Nothing to see. Everybody go back to sleep.
That's the worst.
Yeah, that was the first thing she told me. I was like, "How was your trip?" She's like, "I got sick and threw up." I'm like, "So great, huh?" Yeah, it's funny. Somebody else. Anybody else?
Where you up and say, if you want joy, lower the bar.
Yeah, come on.
My boss hired a new guy this week. I met him for the first time. Sounds like a mythical creature. I've been telling people about it. I promise this guy exists. His name is Joseph Santino de Blasio.
Dang. Is he good looking?
I mean,
He sounds pretty.
he's like 6'3".
Yeah, you can't have a name like that and be ugly.
Yeah. He's 22, smokes 20 cigarettes a day.
Ooh. Ooh.
And he gives himself tattoos.
All right, that's cool. All right, yeah, that's dope.
So anyways, he's just telling me his life
The
story.
Italian from New Jersey.
Yeah.
And so I've just been telling people about it because like he actually exists. And anyways, I just enjoy talking to him. He goes by Sonny. He doesn't even go by.
That's awesome. That's even better.
But you meet some interesting people in the world if you just start asking some questions. He has like all these tattoos, and I was like, "Rick, tell me about them." He's like, "I gave them to myself." I was like, "Okay."
That's wild.
He has like a big 22 on his neck. He gave him in the mirror. It's crazy.
Cool. Dang. Man. Yeah, we gotta meet this guy.
It's
Bring-
not like a stick of like he has the whole pedal tattoo guy. It's insane.
Shoot.
Ordered off of Amazon. I know way too much. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, if you ever want to laugh or you need a little bit more joy in your life, just lower the bar a little bit. All right. Expectations are way too high. All right. If you just kind of give it a notch down, you'll find a lot to laugh at. Not everything's got to be incredible. You can laugh at the little things. Oh man. It's good. All right. Let's talk about anger. On the what about stuff, there was a lot of questions about anger, revenge, vengeance, hate, malice. Okay, I'm just being a little bit, but it's important to know. So we're gonna talk.
About malice.
No, that was all me. I just felt like that was a good.
Put that in there.
feel like that was a good $5 word to put in. So if you got your Bibles, Matthew 21. We're going to be a little bit all over the place too. Eventually get to Isaiah, Jeremiah. So if you got your phone or your Bible, get those things ramped up. Matthew 21. I'll be there in a moment. And you'll see where I'm going with this when you get to Matthew 21. Anger is an interesting thing, especially in the Christian world, because growing up as a kid, I don't know where I developed this, but I literally thought that the ideal, like quintessent Christian, come on somebody, was a like Qui-Gon Jinn Jedi Knight type the guy, person who's mastered their emotions, who doesn't feel anything, who's kind of like stoic and unfazed, that can literally get punched in the cheek and then turn and offer your other cheek. Like that idea like was weird to me. So in my mind, I thought this Christian was supposed to be this like kind of person that pushes everything down. And I lived like that for a long time. And it didn't really work because it's not a very healthy way to live. But when you get to and see this, and then there's verses about anger. Psalm 4:4 is the big one. It says, "Be angry and do not sin." Paul quotes it in Ephesians 4. It says, "Be angry and don't sin." And then there's tons of proverbs about controlling your temper, controlling your tongue. Don't give yourself over to anger, because only fools do that. And even God, the description of God is that he's slow to anger. But then I was experiencing anger in my life and didn't know what to do with it. So I shoved it down. And typically in my experience, it only makes it worse. And then you start reading the Gospels and you see this story about Jesus. And in my mind, he's Qui-Gon Jinn, long hair, beautiful beard, stoic. He recites poetry. He refers back to the prophets. He talks about casting your net on the side and fish come in, and then sowing your seeds and finding these pearls. And he's speaking all these parables. And then this guy rolls up to the temple one day and loses it. And so then I was asking my question, well, if he can get mad, can I get mad? When I was a kid, I say a kid, I was like 13 and 14, way too grown I knew better. My older brother, Josh, we shared my parents' basement kind of became our like lair when we got to like middle school and high school. And so we were down there and we kind of it was like our first like kind of week in the basement, and he had his side, I had my side. And I'm not a very like organized person, but I do like things to be kind of in their place. Certain things, especially my things, like I had a vessel for a while and I broke it, but it is what it is. But that like I have my stuff, I have my journal, I have my backpack, I got my little sleeve here. Like these things like are very important to me, and I need them to be like, don't touch them. All right. Don't touch my stuff. I even said that to Judah the other day. I was very aggressive, probably a little angry, and he was messing with some of my stuff. I was like, hey, don't touch my stuff, man. All right. And I was like, what am I? My brother. I come downstairs and I see my brother on top of his dresser messing with the vent on the ceiling. I was like, what are you doing? And he turns around and he's got my brand new pocket knife that I just sharpened. And he's shoving it up the vent, trying to do some, I don't even know what, there's like a tab that you can open up the vents with, but Bubba's not using the tab. He's using my knife. And I'm like, what are you doing, bro? He goes, I'm just trying to open the vent. I was like, not with my knife. I just sharpened it. I'm like, give that back to me. And he goes, stop being, and he says a word that I'm not going to repeat. Stop doing that. I was like, don't call me that. Get a little altercation. I'm like, give me my knife. He hands me the knife. I take it. It's still open. And I'm like, don't touch my stuff. Well, then he proceeds to punch me in the sternum, which that meant to me, it's on. So he punches. I lunge at him. We get a tussle. He darts up the stairs because he's scared of me. Now, he probably denied this, but this is what happened. All right. He darts up the stairs. I go running after him. I'm running. We're going through all the rooms. I'm trying to jump on him. He's getting, and so we kind of coming back through a hallway upstairs. The stairs are coming up to the left. I finally reach. I grab my brother by the collar of his shirt. He turns. I pull around and have my fist coming up to punch him. But I forgot that I had the knife in this hand this entire time, open blade. It's pointing down. And I go and I look and I stop. I'm like, oh, shoot. And then I turn to my left and our sweet mother is walking up the stairs. And it looks like I'm about to kill. I'm going full cane on this guy's butt. All right. And I was like, I know this looks bad. I'm not trying to kill him. I was going to punch him with the knife in my hand. And she's like, Corey, we got to talk about this. I was like, I wasn't going to kill him. Josh was like, he was going to kill me, Mom. I'm like, hey, I'm not going to kill him. That was the last, I was probably 14 at this point in my life. And that was the last time I got a spanking by my mom at 14, 15. I remember it. That's how awkward it was. All right. So, I was well enough that but I guess she didn't know what to do when you see your son about to kill your other son. To this day, I forgot. I was in such a visceral rage that I just forgot. I did forget about the knife being in my hand. And yes, it was open. And thank God nothing else happened. And I don't know where that knife is anymore. So it's like, it's a special heirloom. But I remember my mom telling me this verse, hey, be angry and don't sin. You got to learn how to channel it. And, oh gosh. And I struggled. And so let's just jump in Matthew 21 here. I was like, I'm not even there. So look at this. So you didn't get Jesus. It says verse 12. This is right after he's like done this like triumphal the entrance into Jerusalem. People have just grabbed palm branches, Palm Sunday, which is about to come in a couple weeks. He's riding in on the donkey. People are shouting, Hosanna, Hosanna, which means save us, Son of David, King of David. And it's Passover time. We're talking about tons of people. Typically at this time, Jerusalem's population is roughly around 40 to 50,000 in first century world. Passover time, you're looking at that tripling to 150,000 people making the pilgrimage to Jerusalem to celebrate Passover, to make their sacrifices. Jesus comes in with this crowd of people, and then he goes to the temple, the heart of Jerusalem. In verse 12, he says, and Jesus entered the temple and drove out all who sold and bought in the temple. And he overturned the tables of the money changers and the seats of those who sold pigeons. In verse 13, he said to them, it is written. So I guess it's cool. You got to flip a table, then recite some poetry. It is written, my house shall be called a house of prayer, but you make it a den of robbers. This is wild. John, the Gospel of John says he also makes some time. He kind of fashions a whip on the side and comes in crack-a-lacking and Indiana Jones style, and he's flipping tables. And it's a weird story about Jesus. It's crazy. Pause. Let me tell you a story about a young king. Once upon a time, there was this young king. He had his he was a warrior king, kind of worked really hard to establish his kingdom. And he was trying to find a new city to make his capital city. He didn't want to pick an existing city because he didn't want anyone being like, hey, this is our city. We're better than. He didn't want to do that. And so he comes in, he says, I'm going to find me a new city that's inhabited by other people that we can make this. We'll do it completely new. So as he's looking around, he sees there's a city kind of set on this little hill with some valleys around it. And he says, that's the perfect one. But it was inhabited by an evil king. And so he's like, but I got to get, because what was so great about the city being on a hill, it's really easy to kind of guard because you can kind of see everybody coming. You can see for miles each direction. It's hard to get up there. So it's easily to be defended. And so this young king, he starts taking his troops out there to overtake the city. The people in the city see it. The evil king kind of sends a message down. He says, hey, good luck trying to take the city. I'm going to let the guards have the night off. Let the blind and the lame keep watch. So this young king getting mad at the taunting. He's like, okay. And so he starts to figure out how to take this city. And what's one thing every human being needs to sustain life? Water. There it is. So he finds the water supply. And he finds this little root. And he looks at his guys in his army, and he says, hey, first one up this water shaft into the city, you'll be the new chief and commander. So all these young guys are raring. They get up there, they overtake the city, it becomes theirs, they start to celebrate, and the king, just to flex a little bit, the young king, just to show the evil guy who's boss and to let him know not to come at him anymore, he puts a sign outside of the city, says, no blind and no lame allowed. Now, the story's about King David, and the city's Jerusalem. You can read about it in 2 Samuel and 1 Chronicles. And it's David trying to find this place. And the city is the temple. Outside the temple, there's a sign that says, no blind and lame allowed. And what's so significant about this story about Jesus flipping tables is you have to understand this story of how Jerusalem was founded. Because historically, there was injustice going on even long before the temple was even built. And what's so powerful about this story, you actually find in the next couple verses. Look at 13 and 14 here. So he just flips the tables. He says, it is written, my house shall be called a house of prayer. He quotes Isaiah. We'll look at it here in just a second. But you make it a den of robbers. Verse 14. And the blind and the lame came to him in the temple, and he healed them. Matthew's winking a little bit, and Jesus is doing something. It's so much bigger than just flipping tables. It's just so much bigger than him just getting pissed at something. Now, there's a lot here going on, but there's a purpose to the anger. There's a framework of why he's angry, but there's purpose to it as well. Because if I'm honest, when I'm feeling angry, there's usually no framework and there's usually no purpose. I'm just pissed. So-and-so said something to me. So-and-so looked at me wrong. So-and-so kind of did something to so-and-so. Now I'm mad because that makes me look bad. It's embarrassing. Makes me look like an idiot. I didn't get invited to the thing. I wasn't called up for that promotion. I didn't get into that class. Now I'm mad. And there's really no purpose, and I'm just mad. And if you ask me why I'm mad, I'm like, I'm just mad. I'm just mad. But what we see from Jesus here is that he's mad at a couple things. One, you got to understand this is Passover. So people are coming to offer a sacrifice to the temple. I should have pulled the picture up. They did like this whole rendering, like kind of up-to-date rendering of what we know about how the temple looked and what it would look like if it was still standing today. And it's this huge structure. And Caiaphas, kind of the Roman governor at the time, put the money changers used to be outside the temple, but he moved all the money changers to inside the temple because it helped him out a little bit more. He kind of lined his pockets a little bit more. And so people are coming, they're traveling. All right, so they're bringing your money. And whenever you go to you go to Scotland, you needed some, you need money of the land. And so you got to change out your money. And it's actually, I've been trying to look it up because from what I know, it's like still, if you go to Jerusalem to this day, you're trying to exchange your money, they really extort you. Like they really take advantage. Most places take advantage of you, but supposedly Jerusalem's one of the worst. Side note. And so these money changers are taking advantage of people. They're exchanging foreign money and not giving them as much back. And then what's so funny too, so there's some injustice going on. There's some extortion going on. There's people who are taking advantage of it. People are just traveling to remember the Passover, try to offer a sacrifice to God. So Jesus walks in here in this moment and he sees all this going on, and something is triggered. And the second thing, what I love the detail. What's the one detail table we get from this story? What's the one type of animal that's mentioned? Pigeons, doves in certain translations. And what's interesting about that detail is Levitical law basically said that every single person, not based off money, would have an option of an animal to sacrifice. And there's other animals here. You could buy a lamb if you want, but you're not going to travel with the lamb because that's kind of ridiculous, to bring your lamb from 30 miles out. You just buy one when you get there. And these pigeons are typically either supposed to be free or very, very cheap. And they're probably taking advantage of poor people here because the dove and the pigeon was the sacrifice for poor people. And so honestly, I think there's a lot of references it was supposed to be just given to these people. So Jesus sees these poor people being taken advantage of, and he's triggered. Then he sees the sign, blind and lame, not allowed. And so there's some injustice. There's people being taken advantage of. There's people being excluded from the very presence and purpose and power and life from God. And so the framework for anger, so very practical, you get mad. The question is, what are you getting mad at? Because typically, if we're honest, most time we get angry, it's typically very selfish reasons. It's because something's happening to me. Something's upsetting me. Somebody's coming after me. Very few of us typically get mad at other things. And even kind of in this generation now, or in this kind of cultural climate, it's very sexy to get mad at stuff that we really have no understanding about. We love it. And when it really comes down to it, like we're mad at stuff that we really have no idea what we're talking about. But it's just cool to be mad. Or I'm really mad, I'm really passionate about this kind of thing, but you really have no experience in, but it's just cool to be mad at. I'm mad at that person or that politician or that world leader. I'm really passionate about this kind of like political topic, but you really have no idea what you're talking about, but it just makes you look cool. Your anger is like a flex. And so once again, your anger is just a point of driving how you look and how you feel. This is not how Jesus got angry. When Jesus got angry, it was always on the behalf of somebody else, for the good of somebody else, or that there was injustice happening on somebody else's part, and he was getting angry about it. This is what we're trying to do with Judah right now. Judah's an angry dude sometimes. He hulks out, y'all. Hulks out. But there's some passion there that if we can channel it, that he's not gonna let injustice go. The other morning we were late. I was not gonna make the bus at all. So I was like, Jude, I'm just gonna drive you. I'm just gonna take you to school. I'll be late, but you'll get to school on time. It'll be fine. And we missed some drama on the bus, which probably saved his butt because I don't know if he would have made the right choice as a second grade boy. There was some talk about underwear, and some people got made fun of about it, and it hurt a girl's feelings. And so some boys got in trouble. And I had this thought. I was like, maybe, and Emily got to talk to him about it. It was cool. But I'm like, and I had this thought in my mind. I was like, what if he actually made the right choice? And instead of jumping in on it, he'd have got angry and told his buddies to shut up. A very holy, righteous shut up. See, that's the kind of thing is like, I don't want to be a guy that pushes my anger down because anger could be the conduit of something that could be good for somebody else. Like right now, somebody busts in here and just starts punching one of y'all. I would hope to the good Lord we wouldn't be like, hey, please stop. No. Love your enemies. Like, for real? You out at Holy Taco and just some Bubba walks in and just starts going to town? And we're going to be like, hey, man, can I tell you a parable? No. That's not how you were designed. I'm not saying you got to pull out your Glock 44 and like take this guy out. But I'm saying you would probably be a little bit more aggressive, right? We left a basketball game at home, one of our last home games, and there was a dad going off on people. And I come around the corner to this hallway, and he's got his finger in a mom's face. something came alive in me that I wasn't sure was there. And next thing I know, I'm standing between him and this mom. And I'm like, what am I going to do? You ever feel like, how did I get in this situation? That was one of them. Like, am I about to fight this guy? Like, is this going to happen? Like, let's talk this thing out. I ain't gonna fight. Let's go to a coffee shop and let's have some discourse. I don't want to settle this thing with my fist. But it was just like almost immediately, I just stepped in and I was like, hey man, I was like, what am I doing? But see, that's good. Because who is God? He's the God who's merciful and gracious. And we typically think that's okay, I got to be nice to everybody. But what if the people you're looking at aren't being merciful and gracious and kind and taking advantage of somebody? So this is the scene that Jesus comes in. So the framework here is, man, am I angry because of on someone else's behalf that doesn't have a voice, that can't speak up, or maybe even just too shy? Like, am I angry because they're doing that? Are they abusing their power? Or is it because it hurts me and it makes me look bad? It makes me kind of embarrassed or feel dumb or stupid. So that's the framework. Am I mad because something's wrong and it needs to be put right? But then there's the purpose of the anger too. Is that Jesus, as he's driving he's flipping over tables, crack-a-lacking the whip. He probably would have shouted a good Jewish yeehaw at that point. And you see, he flips all these tables over, and then he stops. And he lets the blind and the lame come into the temple and gives them healing. That the purpose of your anger should always bring about good for people. Always for the good. It may not be for the people that you're looking at, because that's how we kind of twist this story in the Christian world, that it's like they were getting taken. It was a righteous anger. He really was just kind of like, he wasn't really that upset. I'm like, he flipped a table over. It's very inconveniencing if you're the money changer at that point and you got your whole setup that you worked on. Like, I think of like the farmers markets where they get there at like 6 a.m. and have everything set up, and you come and just flip that over, like, dang. But in the middle of that, he invites people that are on the outside to come in. Then that's what he says. He says, my house will be a house of prayer. He quotes Isaiah 56:7. He says, my house will be known as a house of prayer. He gives us a really interesting line too about that being a den of robbers. He's quoting Jeremiah. Let's go Jeremiah 7. Jeremiah 7. Let's go Old Testament. Old Testament here. This is a really cool part. Jeremiah 7. I'm going to read 1 through 11. You kind of see what's going on here. Jeremiah 7 verse. Let me open this up. So I'm going to make this a little practical here in a little bit. Jeremiah 7. Verse 1 says, the word that came to Jeremiah from the Lord. Stand in the gate for the Lord's house and proclaim there this word and say, hear the word of the Lord, all you men of Judah who enter these gates to worship the Lord. Thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, change your ways and your deeds, and I will let you dwell in this place. Do not trust in these deceptive words. This is the temple of the Lord, the temple of the Lord, the temple of the Lord. For if you truly change your ways and your deeds, if you truly execute justice one with another, if you do not oppress the foreigner, the fatherless, the widow, or shed innocent blood in this place, if you do not go after other gods to your own harm, then I will let you dwell in this place in the land that I gave of old to your fathers forever. Behold, you trust in deceptive words to no change. Will you steal, murder, commit adultery, swear falsely, make offerings to Baal, and go after other gods that you have not known, and then come and stand before me in this house which is called by my name and say, we are delivered, only to go on doing all these abominations? Has this house which is called by my name become a den of robbers in your eyes? It's this moment where Jeremiah he's a prophet. He's calling the people to something better. And he says, man, that the purpose of God's house is to experience the goodness of God. But you come in here bringing your own selfishness, your own anger, your own hate. And then you go on saying it's fine. We're delivered. We're good. Everything's fine. It's like you make it a den of robbers. You're robbing the purpose. So when it comes to anger, I know there's a lot of questions here, but I think the framework and the purpose helps. Is that anger is meant to tell you something. And it's meant to be used for the good of other people. Now, I'm excluding some things, obviously, certain cases of abuse, obviously. I'm talking about very general issues here. But typically, anger is meant for you to go and do something, to bring about change, to bring about some goodness. So, and then it also invites people in. It invites people that want healing but cannot receive it. It invites those people in. So the question is, when you are angry, is it for someone else, or is it trying to bring other people in? Or is it people excluding other people, trying to push people out? And when it comes when the temple of God, the presence of God is meant to be open for everyone. And so think through your life and situations right now. Things in your life at work, school, wherever you're at, that make you angry. And don't lie, I got a bunch. So it's like, man, like even this couple of days ago, I got mad. I was mad because I got inconvenienced. Not because someone was getting taken advantage of. Or like even on the road. It's like you get behind that person, it's like they're in the left lane. And the speed limit is 45 and they're going 50. So I rationalize, they think they're going fast, going 5 over, move. Let the real players play. All right, come on. I'm like, what am I? I'm hurried. Like I got some road rage because I'm getting slowed down. My butt's the one that stayed in bed this morning. Like I could have got up. I'm the one that stayed up late last night watching episode 1 of Ted Lasso season 3. Come on, somebody. Like, I could have went to bed. But I stayed up. I stayed in bed. And now I'm running late for work. And now I'm putting it on this person who had no say in it. But I'm putting it on them. Who does that speak more of? The grandma in front of you or you behind the wheel? Speaks a lot about you. But Jesus' anger speaks a lot about him, meaning he's not going to let injustice or people to get taken advantage of or people excluded put away. He's not going to let it happen. He's not. So what to do with all this? I did come up with some just helpful things. Because if you are an angry person, which I would say we all are, all right? Some people are a little bit more rowdy than others. Here's some just helpful points from modern psychology and philosophy I think are very helpful. Some just practical things this week. Because all that sounds great, sure. And the takeaway is, okay, this week as I'm getting angry, I need to ask myself, is this really for me or is this for somebody else? But then there's some also thing. First thing, anger is a secondary emotion. It's secondary. Often anger is a secondary emotion that is triggered by other emotions such as fear, sadness, or frustration. And by understanding the underlying emotions that trigger our anger, we can better manage our anger and express ourselves in more constructive way. And so typically anger isn't really what you're feeling. It's a byproduct of something else. Well, I think Jesus' experience here is a frustration that this is not what the temple was supposed to be. This is not what this is supposed to look like. This is not how this is supposed to be done. And because of that, then it turns into anger. So typically when you're angry, you got to ask yourself, man, what's really, now it's hard. You got to take a little bit of work. What's really going on? Same thing. Anger can be, from what we've studied, anger can be both positive and negative, which is like, nah, duh. But while uncontrolled anger can be harmful to ourselves and others, controlled anger can be a positive force for change. When we channel our anger in a constructive way, we can use it to motivate us to make positive changes in our life and in the world around us. Maybe you're angry because God has put a vision inside you that he wants you to change. So what if you are mad about something right now and you're trying to push it down and God's like, no, I need you to get mad at that. Dallas Willard has a great line. He says, emotions are fantastic guides, but terrible masters. If you let it master and rule you, yeah, you're going in a bad spot. Or it could be something that guides you into your vision and calling for your life. So what makes you mad? What really gets you going? What really grinds the gears? Because asking yourself that question might lead you to the thing that you're supposed to do with your life. And so what if the anger that you're experiencing can lead you to your next steps? Managing your anger is a skill that can be learned. All right, it is a skill from what we know. It's like you can manage it and understand it. It takes a little bit of work with the right tools and techniques. It's possible to manage your anger in a healthy, constructive way. Spiritual practices for anger, contemplative prayer, stillness, silence and solitude, fasting, but also vision and mission. So I think we'll talk more about stillness here in a couple of weeks, or maybe next week. I don't know. But there's some power if you just stop, slow down, do a little contemplative thinking. Why am I feeling this? Some power in helping you understand why you're so angry or why you experience anger. Anger being a symptom of underlying issues. So you might be mad at some things that you just can't shake. This is just kind of like my therapy promo here. You might need to get into some therapy. If you're experiencing anger very consistently and you're like, I'm just mad at everybody, you might need a year of therapy. It might be fantastic for you. All right. Because there might be because underlying issues are hard to really figure out for yourself. And that's not a knock on you. There's trained professionals that have went to school and written papers and read books to help you uncover the things that are lying dormant inside. Because if we're honest, we forget about stuff. And that stuff piles up. And sometimes you need some help brushing back all the stuff to help understand what's really going on here. And so, anger, which also leads to vengeance. What are you supposed to do in these moments? I'm angry or I see something. Because the Bible talks a lot about vengeance is mine, thus saith the Lord. But what you also see is God has uniquely designed and gifted his people to be and bring about heaven on earth as it is there. And he's gifted you to do it. He's gifted you. So what would it look like if there's things in your life that God wants you to go after and to speak against and to help out and to bring some clarity and some hope and some peace? What would it look like if you could do that? What if the very thing that you're mad at is the reason why you're here? And then just simply ask yourself this week, man, what am I mad at? Why am I feeling so angry right now? Is it because I'm being hurt? Or is it because I'm mad that there's a injustice going on? There's some corruption going on. Something's not right. Because honestly, I think we need more good people, more Jesus followers on this planet that are a little bit more rowdy about the things that matter. I use this illustration in class a lot. It's like, man, Christmas time is like really frustrating for me sometimes because you hear a lot about Starbucks coffee cups and very little about kids without Christmas presents. Christians love to get angry. We're always boycotting something. We're always throwing some type of merchandise in the fire. Because I grew up from the 90s. There was always a boycott for everything. All right. Like Disney movies, Pokemon, we're leading kids to Satan. Like, come on. Like you throw your rock CDs into the fire to listen to the demons hiss. Like, come on. Like we've all been through some boycotts. All right. Christians get angry, but we don't get angry at the right stuff. It's like, man, who? It's a coffee cup. It's a bathroom. It's a Nike check on a sock. It's a movie about a fairy. You got a world of hurt all around you. What if we get angry at that? Because what I also know about Christians is we work really well and really hard together. And so what would it look like if we stopped pointing the gun at coffee cups and we linked up and tried to help people that didn't have anything, the poor, people that are forgotten, people that are pushed out, people that need a little help, a little hope. And I think the more we give ourselves to that kind of anger, the more you'll start seeing your world change. So this week, you got a free ticket. Go get angry. Go feel your anger. Let me just give you some freedom right now. It's the most freeing thing I experienced. Go feel your anger. Feel it. But don't just feel it. Figure out where it's coming from. And the more you do that, I think you'll actually start experiencing more life and joy and peace and purpose in your life. The very thing you might need is a little bit of anger in your life. So get a little rowdy. Let's pray. God, thank you. God, thank you for this morning. God, thank you for this time. And God, by your Spirit, we just ask, help us experience you right now in this moment. And God, even right now, as we are thinking through anger and frustration and revenge and injustice and all that, God, I pray for specific moments to pop in our brains right now. God, I pray for times that we feel angry on a normal basis. And God, I ask you to help us figure that out, where that's coming from. God, I pray that you help us to become the kind of people that get angry at the right things, that feel a holy resentment and frustration toward the right things. And God, help us to be the people that can produce change, that not just get mad for anger's sake, God, but help us to get angry and then actually go get to work and do something for somebody else. God, help us this week to understand that it's not about us. But you're doing a lot around us that's actually for us, and you're putting us in incredible places to do some good. So God, help us have that vision this week. Help us have that calling this week, that identity this week, that you've put us in our job, at our school, at our certain internship, our certain thing for a very specific reason, and that we can start solving problems, helping people out. That helps be people that wants to bring heaven down here. All the good, everything that you see, God, we want it to be here. So give us eyes today. God, give us ears today. Give us hearts today. God, give us passions today. God, we love you. God, we're thankful for you. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Gotcha.
All right, y'all. A couple things real quick, and then we're done. Dinner Thursday, our place. We'll send out info on that. I want to do. You remember last year we did that books and bonfire, whatever we called it. What did I call it? I called it something. It's on a what? Contemplation and something. Whatever we did, I think we should do it again. So, then we'll try to find a Tuesday in a couple weeks and do a Tuesday night bonfire again, and basically all sit around the fire. And if you have something you're reading or listening to that's inspiring or whatever, like, it's a cool spot to share that. It was really cool to see like the spectrum of what people were reading and listening to. And so whatever you're into, I think it'd be a lot of fun to do it again. So we'll find a Tuesday coming up a couple weeks from now. We'll do a Tuesday night bonfire or something. Sound cool? We still have a few more whatabouts to tackle for the next couple weeks. I'm still trying to figure all that out, but we're gonna do a few more, and then we're thinking about doing like a how to live series. I have no other title besides that. Because like what we're trying to do at Mosaic is not just swing a pendulum of thought. It's like just because you think differently doesn't mean you get a cookie. You know, like you're not growing in compassion, like just because you think differently. And so it's a safe space to think differently because we're going to try to explore and be comfortable with that stuff. But the end thing for Mosaic is like we want to be Jesus-y people. Like we want to put a Jesus-y step forward. And so just because you have new thoughts on something doesn't mean you're growing. So we want to actually grow and be transformed Jesus-y people. And so we're having all these conversations that are like, what about this and what about that? But the next few weeks after this, try to put a little bit more emphasis on like, because now when I leave this space, like who am I and how do I be in the world? And so working on that through the summer when it gets warm and stuff. It'd be cool to tackle some more like community stuff. Like who are we as a people? What does it mean to have friendships? Have like, how do I love someone? Marriage stuff, all the relational things. I think it'd be really cool to focus in on that aspect, kind of a continuation of the How to Live series, but in a different form. So we could get playful with it and have fun. Like we're gonna have stuff at the park and do some community stuff, but also like talk about community and what's it mean to be the church in this day and age, like all that jazz. So that's just kind of some months ahead. Just want to pitch that. So dinner Thursday, we'll do another bonfire thing. Someone help me think of a cooler name. Whatever I said last time. We'll do some kind of fire thing in a couple weeks. A couple more whatabouts, how to live stuff, community stuff. Anything else you need to say?
As far as kids, I think
Oh, yeah.
next week you guys have it, and then the list is done. So I'll just start the list back over. I'll send it in the group, and if you're not on the list, just let me know, and I can add you. And then if I send out a date that has your name on it, does it work for you? Just tell me. Is that okay with everyone? If I just do it that way.
Yep. Sounds good.
Instead of having to ask different people, I'll just do the same list.
It's helpful. We should get some Mosaic merch. Anybody? Corey? Looking at you because you're the only one that knows how to design stuff. So
I'm taking a special love off.
we'll take a love offering. I just want a 5-panel hat with our triangle on it. That's really all I want. I'll just get one, you know. I'll pay the $100 for a specially designed one. All right, that's all I got. Anything else anybody want to say? Cool. Much love to you guys. Cheers.